Hundreds of law enforcement agents at all levels are descending on the small city of Kenosha, where local police have struggled to quell escalating violence. The ramping up of law enforcement follows a fatal fight between protesters and a teenager who fired an assault weapon on demonstrators, killing 2 and wounding 1.
Hey, he just shot them!
Using video from the scene, sheriff's deputies arrested 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yo, man, you're here to start and then when starts, you're going to blame it on everybody else.
It was not clear whether Rittenhouse was among the armed militia members who verbally clashed with protesters. After days of looting, arson, and violent clashes, the city has responded with a new curfew. The governor has called in a broad array of law enforcement from across the state of Wisconsin, the region, and the federal government. Governor Tony Evers has called in 500 more military troops from the National Guard to join hundreds of local police and sheriff's deputies in riot gear.
The gunman behind New Zealand's worst mass shooting has been sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole. Brenton Tarrant killed 51 Muslim worshippers in Christchurch last year. The relatives of some of his victims spoke outside court just a short time ago. They say they're pleased that justice has been served.
At just after 1:40 in the afternoon on the 15th of March last year, emergency services received the first calls. A shooting was underway during Friday prayers at the Al Noor Mosque in central Christchurch. In total, 44 worshippers were killed by Brenton Tarrant at Al Noor in an attack he live-streamed on the internet. He then moved on to his second target across town, the Linwood Mosque, where he killed a further 7 people. The youngest victim just 3 years old, the eldest 77.
Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny remains hospitalized here in Berlin in a medically induced coma. He's recovering from what German doctors say was most likely poisoning. But the Kremlin has rejected this diagnosis, saying German doctors were too hasty with their conclusions. Now, this today from a spokesman, Kremlin spokesman. We are categorically against someone labeling this current situation a poisoning, which is something that is not confirmed yet. This is a Russian citizen who is in a coma, and we would like to find out the reason for this coma. Well, Russia is under increasing pressure to investigate Navalny's illness. Tests have confirmed have all the hallmarks of a nerve agent attack. Germany is demanding a full and transparent investigation, a call that's backed by the European Union, the United States, and the UK.
Ending a months-long standoff, Tehran has given the green light for the International Atomic Energy Agency to access 2 sites suspected of once hosting secret nuclear material. The announcement came as the agency chief wrapped up his first visit to Iran. The 2 sides later released a joint statement.
Iran is voluntarily providing the IAEA with access to the 2 locations specified by the IAEA and facilitating the IAEA verification activities.
The statement said dates for the inspections had been agreed upon, but did not specify when or name the facilities. Iran had argued that the IAEA's requests to visit the sites were based on allegations from Tehran's regional enemy Israel and had no legal basis. But on Wednesday, the head of Iran's atomic agency hailed a new chapter in relations with the IAEA.
Afghans in Parwan province rescue their loved ones any way they can. Rain and flash floods soak the impoverished rural northern region. The dozens killed are mostly women and children. Others remain missing, fear trapped under the rubble of their destroyed homes. Local leaders say the scale of the disaster is overwhelming and they need help. All over neighbouring Pakistan, it's a similar scene of devastation after days of torrential rain. In the largest city, Karachi, polluted water from clogged drains flood streets, spilling into homes. Prime Minister Imran Khan says troops are being sent to help pump out water from flooded neighborhoods.
South Korea says North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un's sister is now effectively the second most powerful person in the country. South Korean Defense Minister Jong Kyung-do said in Parliament that Kim Yo Jong had been appointed to an important post in the Communist Party and was now in charge of North Korea's relations with the US and South Korea. The move, if true, wouldn't be entirely unexpected, given the increasingly visible roles she has been playing over the last few years.
The sources indicate that China has actually launched 2 missiles, including an aircraft carrier killer, or at least that is what the Chinese claim, in the South China Sea. The move comes a day after China accused the US spy planes of entering into a no-fly zone during the PLA's military drills. Reports also indicate that China fired the DF-26B missile from the Qinghai province and a DF-21D missile from the Zhejiang province. The missiles landed in an area between the Henan province and the Paracel Islands in the South China Sea, and Beijing had declared a no-fly zone in this area on account of the live-fire naval exercise off the coast of Henan. The DF-26 is an intermediate-range missile, the kind that was banned by the US and the erstwhile Soviet Union as a part of their intermediate-range nuclear forces treaty during the Cold War.
Will coronavirus infect the Jewish high holiday season? On Wednesday, the Ukrainian government slapped a temporary ban on tourists entering the country ahead of the Jewish New Year, when tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Hasidim make a pilgrimage to the Ukrainian city of Uman, where the rabbi from Breslov is buried. The decision was sparked by the outbreak of the coronavirus in the country. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky even met a group of local rabbis to try and come up with a work plan to allow the pilgrimage to go ahead. Ukrainian Chief Rabbi Moshe Azman, who took part in the discussions, told I-24 News it was held in good faith, even though the situation is extremely complex.
We continue now with our developing story. We're running battles between Eldorado Park residents and police are continuing over the death of a teenager, Nathaniel Julius. Now, the community is accusing the police of killing the 16-year-old who was a teenager living with a disability.
The thing, Tammy, is that we're seeing police again pushing back these residents that have been protesting for a while now, about 4 hours or so, and they're firing rubber bullets in trying to make sure that they essentially go inside Hillbrow Flats. The Hillbrow Flats, that's where many of the residents that are currently protesting here are from, actually, and that's also where the incident happened.